Okay, so for some reason the clip cut off. So the final idea I had was for the actors that you hire to bring a that each bring a food item, kind of like a potluck, so that you don't have to pay for food. So I went to people around my dorm and asked for ideas, improvements, what is good, what was bad on these prototypes, and the one that kind of got cut first was the potluck one because it's not that much money. It's impractical to think that the actors will bring their own food, especially when I'm the one setting it all together. And then the advice that I got for the money one was that it didn't look realistic and it wasn't practical. But I still went on to the second round with that one because I just thought it was really funny and everyone did too. And then the idea to bring furniture, free furniture, and use it as scenes also went along because it was the most practical to use, in a film set to find scenes, which I kind of made more realistic the drawing into a scene on a piece of paper for my second round. And then I got advice on the second round, and obviously I got the same advice from the money was that, it looked good. It looked like something that could, be a funny concept, but again, wasn't practical. And when I got advice for the second round of the free furniture idea, people really wanted to see it in action. Kind of see how the furniture would come together, where you could find a whole set for a room and a scene for free online. So, my final prototype for that one was I took sticky notes and kind of folded them together into a little scene on my desk. So, I had a table with chairs, a cabinet, a desk, a couch, and then I got, sorry, excuse me, advice from someone that was in the film society and was interested in short film, who I interviewed earlier in previous weeks. And he wants to be a filmmaker or involved in film when he grows up. So he really liked the idea for conserving money on that side of the film and being able to use the furniture. And then afterwards, you can again just give it away for free. So no loss of money there. And kind of how I felt about this week, that assignment was it was really enjoyable and rewarding to see all this hard work that I went to the three previous weeks all come together into a physical thing that I can look at and I can understand how this idea can solve the original question that I came up with 2 weeks ago. So seeing it all come together was rewarding just to see how all this, curiosity, confidence, and resiliency will actually come up with a final project. So, going off all that, now I'm going to go over my successes in this class, failures, how it all connects together, which I've kind of already touched on, its connection to real life, and then my thoughts about the class. So, the 2 weeks that I felt were the best or most useful to me was be curious and be resilient. Now, these weeks I enjoyed the most just because it was more in my comfort zone, which is why it was more easy for me to be successful at it. And what I noticed, it was both of the weeks that were my best were creating things and being creative, which I probably wouldn't expect to come in with. The failures were every week I didn't push myself as hard as I could have in terms of using new medium every week. So I kind of stick to videos and like Google Docs. And I felt like I left a lot on the table to be used in more creative ways for delivering my process, my reflection, and my project for that week. And the Be Creative assignment was probably, even though it was my first, it was very telling that I didn't really know what I was doing because it was just a standard Prezi, even though it was the first week. I really didn't use any novel ideas in presenting that information. And Goose Chase was also probably one of my biggest failures because it was so far out of my comfort zone and so stressful that I really didn't feel like I learned anything. Although I feel like I should have and could have if I kind of took a different approach to it. Because when I was going into these, challenges and checking off these different items, I regretted doing it. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. Let's just get it over with as fast as possible without kind of engulfing and accepting that, this is going to be bad. I won't like this, but I'm going to grow from this. And then how it all connects together, that Be Creative kind of goes just kind of into learning. We really just started learning, looking at ideas or examples in the real world, how people have been creative, and then questioning and challenging ideas was Be Curious. And then Be Confident was creating ideas on the problem that you found in Be Curious. And then Be Resilient was kind of finding all these ideas, narrowing it down until 3, and then narrowing it down to 1. That's the most practical, and showing a physical concept, and then getting, you know, advice, what is good about it, what's bad about it, from other people. And this is very useful in real life in the business world because every company constantly needs new ideas, especially in this world where information moves around at the speed of light, and that there are so many new businesses, new companies, new products all the time. And if you only stick to what's known and what's comfortable, you're going to get left behind before you even know it. So, that having the ability to research a field, create questions, making ideas, and then coming up with a final prototype will be infinitely helpful in the business world. Because if you do it right with the right team, you'll be able to outpace everyone else. And then finally, my thoughts about this class was I really didn't push myself as much as I should have. I feel like this is the sort of class where it's only useful, or it's most useful, if you really dive into the material, try to get out of your comfort zone at every point, and push yourself every weekend for what you're going to do, how you're going to deliver it, and then kind of reflecting on it. And I didn't do enough of that, and I know that. I really enjoyed the in-person classes. I felt that it was a really laid-back environment. We, touched on the reading. We did assignments that were related to the reading. Like, for example, I remember the one class where we just wrote as many ideas on sticky notes as we could, which kind of prepared us for the Be Confident assignment, where we created 100 ideas. So a lot of them are prerequisites to what we're going to do in the weekend assignment, which I felt was really helpful so that you weren't going in blind to that. And then some things that I wish were different about the class. I did feel that there was often an unclear rubric and grading because of that. And I felt that the rest of the class agreed, where it wasn't clear how to get an A or a good grade. And it was just really an unclear rubric, and having, I think, more examples of what students did right in the past and wrong in the past would be very useful, even though I knows you risk the kind of idea that people will get trapped into boxes through saying, hey, this got a good grade, so I'm just going to copy that. I know that's a fine line. And the final thing I want to end off on is I wish before we started everything, maybe I missed it, I don't know. I wish that I knew starting that I'm gonna build on one idea, which was short film, every week up until midterms. If I knew that, I probably would not have picked short film because I feel that there are other topics of interest to me that I would have enjoyed more diving into and creating ideas and a prototype for. That's all I have. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.